Nasri. Looks Rashad in!
Gabriel Martinelli jusqu'au bout. Oh, il a fait l'exploit de Gabriel Martinelli. Le coast to coast façon NBA pour relancer les Gunners.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Kenyan Gunners podcast with me, Omar Bashir, and Ahmed Manafa. Ahmed, good morning, good afternoon to you.
Both of those, huh? Good afternoon, Omar. How are you doing today?
I am fine. I'm good. Just a bit busy, but I'm doing good. How are you doing? How's Mombasa?
I'm okay, man. It's really hot out here. I wish I had your Nairobi weather.
Yeah, it's been funny because it's sort of sunny and then when it reaches like 6, 7, then it starts raining.
That's so nice.
Mm.
At least you have that option of that cool, you know?
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
I'm literally baking right now. I'm sweating so much. It's so bad. The heat is bad.
Well,
Wish I was there.
sorry about that. The dogs seem to be complaining about the heat. Okay, so let's get into it. Arsenal had a match on Saturday, I believe it was, a long time ago, against Manchester City, away from home at the Etihad. Ended 1-0. Lots of stuff to dig into in terms of that performance, the game, the results. I'd just like to start with team news. What did you think about the team news once it came out? The lineups, the exceptions in the team, who was in, who was out. What did you think about that?
Well, when the lineups came out, I was actually kind of happy because I think that's what we wanted to see. Holding for Luis, I think that was maybe due to the fact that Luis sort of had a horror show maybe last season in the same fixture. So I understood that, but as we know, Holding had an injury just pre-match in the warm-up, and Luis had to come in, so that was still fine. I think everything else was okay. We expected Willian to start on the left, Aubameyang on in the middle, Pepe on the right. I think when we saw the lineup, that's what most of Arsenal fans thought because of what had happened in that, I think, 20-30 minute spell against Sheffield. So it looked exciting on face value, just having seen the lineup.
Yeah, the Willian thing is interesting. I just talked about it after the game, said it was a tactical decision that he made to play him in the middle, but there's a clip going around on Twitter showing how ineffective, I think, or how that sort of move sort of failed.
No, you misunderstand. My point was we expected Willian to start on the left, so we were okay with that.
Yeah, I completely understand that. I was just progressing the discussion to how it happened in the game. Because once we saw like the first 5 minutes, we saw Willian is playing in the middle. I said, fine, this is interesting. Let's see how this will work.
But I remember asking you. Do you remember on WhatsApp? I remember asking you, what's Willian doing in the middle? Why is Aubameyang not there?
Yeah, I mean, I was at that point, I think the first 15-20 minutes, I was like, okay, fine, Willian's playing there. Maybe we're going to have sort of like a V where Willian will be a bit deep, and then Aubameyang and Pepe will be running from out to in, from wide position. So we have like a V shape in terms of the forward line. And I was
it will be like a false nine kind of play.
Yeah, that kind of play. And then he obviously has the pass. He can dribble with the ball, so it would be more effective for him going through the middle. So I felt that would be that. In theory, it made sense. But then you would see most of the time he was the most forward player at the
Forward
time,
player.
and I didn't understand that. Also, as well, him being forward, he didn't make the right runs. There's a clip I was talking about it. Uh, there was a clip doing rounds on Twitter explaining how ineffective his role in that position was, where there were great opportunities for him to break the line and to run beyond the defenders, and he basically stood his line because that's not his natural game, to run beyond players. He's a player who likes to receive the ball, to pass the ball. He's the one to look for the pass. So him playing there sort of trapped us in that sort of zone where we couldn't really do anything, and we ended up losing possession in most of those situations. So I felt that in that particular, the Willian, shall I say, experiment sort of failed in this game. But I think with other, you look at the lineup, I think I was pretty happy with pretty much everything. I think Rob Holding has been very good this season. He's performed exceptionally well. At a point, I remember he was being touted as going to leave. He's managed to convince Mikel Arteta and convince a lot of Arsenal fans as well. His performances have been top draw. And I think his injury will come at a bad time for us, where we have a lot of games, and his quality, I think, will be needed. So, but I felt also Luis came in the game. He had a decent game. He had an okay game. Didn't do a lot of nonsense. He was pretty much steady. But I think Holding is rumored to be out for, I think, 2 to 3 weeks. I don't know. So that's basically him out until maybe the next international break. I'm not so sure. But I'll be basically, when the lineup came out, I was pretty confident as well. But I have to say, I think City started very well. They also adopted a very interesting system, where I think it was Sterling was sort of drifting and had a sort of a central creative role in the absence of Kevin De Bruyne. We had Mahrez, who was holding the width from the right hand side, and then there was a sort of
Foden on the left.
Foden was on the left, and then I think we had Aguero doing sort of like the Aubameyang or the Henry role, where he was coming from out to in. When they had possession in the mid third of the pitch, he was out on the left hand side, and once they progressed it into the final third, you would see him quickly dart into the box. So I thought it was sort of clever as well from them, but I don't think any of those systems basically worked. Comparing the Willian thing and what he did with Aguero, I don't think any of them worked during the game. But it was basically a tactical battle. How do you see the first 15-20 minutes? What was your view on that?
Yeah, it's basically what you've said for most of it. The Willian thing was definitely a tactical overthink from Arteta's part. I think maybe he wanted to take them off guard, maybe by doing something different. You know, we're used to seeing Lacazette and Nketiah. We know what they do through the middle. So maybe, you know, he thought he'd switch it up on Pep just a bit, but it didn't work. So that changed pretty quickly. We saw as the game progressed from our point, we saw Willian moving away from that central position, leaving Aubameyang to make some runs through there maybe, and go on the right sometimes to support Pepe, and he would go on the left sometimes to support Saka. He kind of ended up having more of a free role instead of a fixed position, which was also quite interesting to see. From City's point of view, we know they start fast. We expected that. I think I told you that we will concede first, and that actually happened around the 20th minute. Was it? Yeah. Their goal came from the left, our right, their left. I think Bellerin switched off for just a second, and they punished him for that. Bellerin failed to track back, and we had the shot. Aguero got a shot away, rebounded into Sterling's path, and yeah, the goal came from a rebound. There's not much even Leno could do. I mean, maybe if Luis steps up to block that shot, maybe, but it's something that just happens. City can be very quick with the ball, and they took advantage of our small lapse in concentration, I would say, and they punished us very quickly for it. But after that, I think our game progressed the way we pretty much know we can be. We were very defensive. We closed down most of their channels. They didn't have that many efforts on goal, I would say. I think Leno had a pretty quiet game overall after the first maybe 30, 40 minutes. Our best play came in our best period of play came in towards the end of the first half, where this is what happened when Willian now started moving away from that central role, which is not what Arteta had planned for sure. Yeah, so when Aubameyang moved down the middle, we started getting more possession, we started getting more efforts on goal, and I think we finished that half pretty much the stronger team, I would say. And yeah, it was definitely a tactical battle. And in that first half, I would say we were unlucky with the goal. But yeah, we didn't take our chances, so we finished 1-0 down in that first half.
Yeah, I think in the first half, just go back to the City goal. I think the role of Riyad Mahrez is very underplayed. I think he takes a fantastic touch. And then his pass into, I think it was, who was it who passed into? I don't know, he passed to, I think it was Bernardo Silva. It was in the middle of the park. It was a brilliant pass, great weight on the ball. His touch, I think, to keep it away from Tierney, and then the pass into Bernardo Silva, which sets the whole thing off because they bypassed the press. I think was those two moments, I think, were very, very important in terms of them getting into very advanced position for them to create that opportunity. I think once they get to the box, I think you can now start to pick. I think you can say, oh, Bellerin should have done this, they should have done that. I actually was sort of critical on Leno. I think he should punch it wider. Rather, he should punch it wider than rather back into the danger area. I think maybe that's something he needs to improve. I don't know. Maybe I'm just nitpicking here. But we go 1-0 down. And as you said, our best period came just before the half, maybe after 10 minutes before the half, after the shift from a bang into the middle. And because of that, I talked about the video of Willian running in behind. I think Aubameyang was doing that. So when somebody or your forward runs beyond the defensive line, the defense in itself is forced to retreat, which probably gives you an extra 5-10 yards in the midfield and will give more space to the likes of Saka, who now then shown in that period, he really shown he got some few opportunities. He was dribbling at the defense as well. So I think it's something to think about as well, because Lacazette as well is not somebody who will run beyond. He's the one who also likes to receive the ball. I think if you play Oba there, he will tend to run beyond the keeper, run beyond the defender, and that will create more space into the midfield. So I think that was a very interesting thing, and I think it's maybe something that Mikel Arteta would like to look to improve as the season goes by, because I think that's for me, another avenue of creating chances for this team.
Yeah, for sure. I think you spoke about Saka and now the period of play when Aubameyang is down the middle. I think Saka can really cement that position as his own. If he keeps playing the way he has been over the past few game weeks for Arsenal, I think he'll be a very, very important player. I think he's really, really showing his qualities and what he can do with the ball. I think against City, even though City have that technical prowess over us. I think Saka really stood out, and the kind of movements he was making, the kind of passes he was playing. He managed to get really two really good shots away on goal, and I think they were our best efforts. There's another Aubameyang one when he was played in by Pepe after some good work from Shaka, and it was called out for offside, which it wasn't. But had he finished that, of course, it would have been checked by VAR,
and it would have counted.
Yeah, it would have counted. So yeah, that was unfortunate. I think
Yeah, as
we
well.
had
I
some
think
really good chances to
Aubameyang had, if you remember, in the semi-final of the FA Cup, he had something similar to that, where he got it first time and hit it straight at the keeper. I don't know if you remember that. It sort of
yeah,
reminded
I
me
do.
of that. He didn't really, I don't think he looked at the keeper, looked at his position. He just said, I'm in a good position, I'm going to strike it. I think maybe if it takes a bit of time to look at his surroundings where he is, I think maybe he could have scored that.
He did really have a lot of time.
Yeah, to be
Ake was
fair.
already moving back, and Ruben Diaz was already there with
To be
him
fair,
holding the
yeah.
line. Yeah, so it was a bit of a snapshot, but usually he buries those. So
Yeah.
he's been a bit of okay. I wouldn't say his numbers have dropped off because we aren't really creating that much for him.
Yeah.
So I would say I don't know. People I've seen some people say he's dropped off since he signed the contract. After the Fulham game. That's really, I think, more down to the team not creating as much rather than Obama himself not being as good or him having dropped off.
Yeah,
What do
yeah.
you say to that?
Yeah, I think you're spot on with that. I think he's not been really being found in areas where you'd want him to be found. I think when he normally receives the ball, he's normally out wide, next to the touch line, next to the halfway line when he's receiving the ball. That's not really where you want Aubameyang to receive the ball. You want him to receive the ball in the final third where he can affect the game in terms of his goal creation and his goal scoring. So I think that's something we need to look. I think that also comes out with the sort of where the squad is in terms of we were not really sure who's going to be in, who's going to be out. So we were doing a lot of changes. We have El Neni there. We'll have Willian playing one day. We'll have Pepe playing the other. So there was no cohesive system and structure, especially offensively towards creation of that. Where I think now that with the transfer window closed, with the squad closed, which we'll talk about, I think now we'll sort of see like a similar system that will try to bring the best out of our best player and our captain. So I expect to see that that his numbers will improve. Also, another thing on a positive spin to that, I think it's also good that Aubameyang is not scoring, but we've seen other players come up and score. We've seen Lacazette has been in a good run. Excuse me, he's been on a good run, scored a couple of goals. Pepe scored last week. Saka scored as well.
Yeah.
So
Nketiah has a couple of goals.
yeah, and Nketiah scored a couple of goals. So it's good to see that. I think one of my biggest concerns with the team last year is that the goals coming from very few sources. So I think it's nice to see that. What I would like to see is more goals from midfield. I don't know whether we're going to get that from North. I'd like to see more from Ceballos, whether it's goals or assists, basically any sort of goal contributions we can get from him. I think it would be.
The thing is, it's still not enough. Do you know? I mean, if you look at it comparatively, in the top half of the table, we have, I think, the fewest goals scored, if I'm not wrong.
We have the
only
least.
scored 8 goals. Yeah.
Only West Brom have created less chances, bro.
Yeah, we 19th in chances created.
Yeah.
We're low on goals scored in the top half of the table. So I don't know. I feel like that's now where we need to improve drastically, which is
Absolutely.
a weird change for Arsenal. We've never really had a problem scoring goals. Our problem has been in defense, and this time it's completely turned around.
I think
We have now one of the best defenses. We're second after Aston Villa. And I don't know. I just find it very strange now that the roles have reversed completely.
I think as well it points towards how we actually were pursuing Houssam Aouar in the transfer window, because I think Arteta knew that this team has a problem in terms of chance creation. We really don't have that person who can create from the midfield areas, who can also release the wingers apart from the striker, release the likes of Pepe and give them more scoring opportunities and bring more goals into the team. So I think that's why they were trying to bring in Houssam Aouar. They couldn't, so they brought the other piece who they thought they would bring in next year. I'm speaking now hypothetically. That I think their plan was basically bringing Houssam Aouar. He's the one that we need right now. We can survive without Thomas Partey because I think defensively we are okay. But I think now they said, okay, we can't bring him Aouar. Let's use the money now to get in Partey. Then the money that we'll have in the summer, we can bring in Houssam Aouar. I think for me that's the plan now. But I think chance creation, I think, is a very, very big issue in this team. There's not a lot of creativity, especially in that midfield. I think Ceballos has, this season especially, I think he's increased in his progression of the ball. His vision, I think, is being amplified now. I think last year we were seeing more of him in a defensive setup where he was very good in terms of his pressing, his tackling, his interceptions. I think they were very, very good. I think now, Arteta is asking him to create more. And I think with the addition of Thomas Partey, I think we'll see a creative side of Ceballos, which we really haven't seen at Arsenal. So I expect maybe that to be, I think the creation should sort of come from him, and as well Bukayo Saka. I think those are the ones who I think creation will be at the maximum. I think those will be our creative forces this season. Whether that will be enough for us to get into the top four, I don't know. But if we can keep, I think we've conceded the least amount of goals, but I'd like us to keep more clean sheets. I'd like us to keep more clean sheets.
Amount of goals after Aston Villa. Aston Villa is an anomaly this season.
Yeah, it's an anomaly. I completely agree. But I'd like us to, I think, like, for example, the Sheffield game, I think we could have, gotten a clean sheet there.
Yeah, I get it. But that as well was a free goal we conceded. We don't concede those usually.
Yeah. Then there was the West Ham game. The West Ham game is looking like a good win now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is good value for sure. I mean, they've troubled. Who have they? Definitely the neighbors, Spurs down the road.
This is so funny. Yeah, the game was on Sunday. Yeah, so I was watching it with my brother. No, not actually watching. We just managed. Okay, we happened to pass by the channel where they were showing the game, and we saw it was 3-0. I think it was 60 something. What the hell is this, man? This West Ham, they're disturbing everybody, and then they come to Tottenham and they just let them in. So I was really upset. And the funny thing, after the game, I didn't even check the full-time score. I didn't bother. And there was this buzz, like, oh, we've seen what's happened, what's going on? And then you see the 3-3, it was incredible. It was incredible.
What happened with me was, I actually, they had a start. Actually interested in watching West Ham because they've been a good side, and I wanted to see them, disturb Spurs, at least maybe get an upset against them. But when I saw the scoreline was like, it's already 3-0, 20, the game is done, there's no point watching now.
Yeah.
And then, same as you, towards the end, after the game had finished, I see, Spurs drew 3-3, and it was after Bale had come on. to make his second coming. It was just poetic, you know. It's the history of the Tottenham.
Oh my goodness, that's my favorite video right now.
Well, the way they bottled it, you know, just it's almost I would say predictable, you know. They
Yeah,
had a good lead.
I also like how they were 3-0 up. I think with 20 minutes in, there was talk of them being
No.
there was talk of them
Oh
being
yeah.
title contenders. You know, Liverpool have lost Van Dijk, Man City not looking as stable as they normally do. They were saying, oh, you know, they could actually touch for this. And I like that how that talk just quickly dissipated very, very quickly. And I'm completely pleased about that. So screw Tottenham and screw everything that they stand for.
Isn't there a video of Spurs fans doing the same thing?
Yeah. There's doing that thing where
The couple of Spurs fans having done it live,
why would you do that if you're a
and
Tottenham
then
fan?
Lanzini just scores a belter of a goal. You know, it was just amazing the way they just bottled it. Just wow, I really enjoyed that.
Though, however, I'm not one for praising Tottenham, you know me, but I think the forward line is very, 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 very serious. I think, sorry, you have
They have been looking at a serious
Kane,
side at
Son, I
times.
think Bale. I saw what I saw from him and the cameo that he made. I think he looks very sharp. We know Bale is a world-class player. He proved that at Real Madrid time and time again. So I think that would be. I think Spurs. I think the result. The result is sort of. You know, it's funny. It's funny to laugh at. But I think, as a team, I think they look stronger than they were last year. I think that's what I'd say. I think defensively, I think with Dyer in there, I think Dyer for me is the big player for them in that defense. I think everybody else is just a joke. I think we have Ori, I think is right back, and then left back is Regulon. I don't know whoever they put there. I don't think it's good enough. I think Dyer seems transformed under Mourinho. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. It will depend on. I think, but it just depends. I think in terms of top four, I'm looking at us in terms of what we want to do. I think if we focus on ourselves and how we perform week in, week out, I think we can for sure make top four.
Yeah. Talking about this, you know, for us, I think we might get into top four, and the thing is, we don't need to actually, you know, consistently beat these top sides. That only comes if we're, you know, if we are on the next stage of our progression.
Yeah.
As of right now, what I want to see from us is how we should be consistently beating the smaller teams, you know, the figuratively smaller teams. Now we should be turning the results, and I think if you look at it from this point of view, at this stage last season with similar games, we actually have 4 more points already, having turned 2 draws into wins comparatively last season to this season. So that's already a good sign, you know.
Yeah.
The Sheffield game last season, we drew 1-1 at home. This time we won. And we played Fulham, which we compared to Norwich last season, where we drew, and this time we won comfortably. Yeah. So that's actually my thing. If we turn those into wins, we will be up there in the top 4, and that's actually a good sign right now.
Yeah, I've said it before. I think on the podcast. I think beating the small teams is what gets you into the top 4. I think Chelsea were good at that. That's what basically got them in there. Man United as well. Towards the close end of the season, they really went through the small teams, and that's what basically got them into that top 4. So I think, and Arsene Wenger used to do it for so many years. I mean, we used to lose to the big teams, but whenever the small teams came around, we used to, you know, score past them. So I think that's integral for us in terms of getting to top 4. So
Anything else from the second half was a bit nonchalant. It was just there. I think we tried to control the game, just try to limit what Man City could do. There wasn't really that much to talk about, as neither team really created anything.
Yeah.
Partey came on towards the end.
Yeah, he looked good. He looked good on the ball. It was interesting. He was on a bit of set piece duty. Shows that he's got a technical ability that I didn't know he was a set piece taker. So I think that could help us. It could help us in our set pieces.
Talking about set pieces, Luis, what's with Luis taking these free kicks?
I don't know what he's doing. The last time he scored, I don't know, was 1432 BC. So I just think that he needs to. I think there are more qualified players. I think there's Willian now. There's Pepe there. I think just leave it to those two. Let them. They have better chances.
I think he should. The team should just talk to him and tell him no more.
We'll see about that.
His days are past.
Yeah, pretty much. Let him focus on defending.
Yeah, let him do that. And yeah, I think the game finished 1-0.
I think there was a sense of missed opportunity. I think sort of the feeling where people were disappointed that we didn't actually go for it in the second half. We could have, put in an extra forward player. We could have, taken a bit of chance, But I think overall it was an okay game. It was very tactical. I think 1-0 in terms of where we are at as a team, I think isn't so bad. But I think as well, I can't, look past the feeling that we have a missed opportunity, because I think that we created much, much more than against Liverpool. I think against Liverpool, I think we were completely played off the park. I think Liverpool totally deserved the win. I think in this one, I feel like we should have at least scored a goal.
With at least a draw.
Yeah, because I think they didn't create much, Man City, and we created a few chances we should have scored. And I think Arteta pointed out post-match, he said, when you get chances in their box, you have to score, because when they get chances in your box, they will score, and that's exactly what they did. So I think it's something we need to learn about moving forward.
Yeah, I think that's it in terms of the game. I would like to see it now, Arteta with Partey in the squad, maybe be a bit more, with the shackles off, with the handbrake off, as Wenger used to say. Just try and a bit more freedom, going forward. Just we can see that he already has drilled into this team how to defend. And there's already this very strong structure that we've been seeing now week in, week out. Whenever we lose the ball, we tend to come back in, fall back deeper. You see the lines, the shape of the... So, good him to kind of, move on to the next stage, which is now just take a bit more risk with the play, just move the ball forward quicker. That's what I want to see coming into the next games, especially now we're going to be facing Leicester and Man U, who play some fast-paced football. And if we play the way we have been playing, if we sit back, I think it's going to be tough.
Yeah, completely agree. I think it's a step in the right direction, and hopefully we'll be able to get where we want to get very soon, very quickly, so that we can get excited about it. Not that we're not excited about it now, but I think that's the general consensus about the progression of the team. So I think we should leave it there for part one.
Yeah. I think I don't have anything else to add.
Okay, then we will come back to part two right after this. Welcome back to part 2 of the Kenyan Gooners podcast. Follow us on our various social media sites on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Kenya Gooners Pod. Right, Ahmed, questions from the listeners?
Yes, I have one question from at Ndirangu Daniel on Twitter, at Ndirangu Daniel _ from Twitter. He's asking, has time proved Unai right in not playing Mesut Ozil? I'll let you take that one. Maybe I can chime in later, but you start. What do you think? Has time proved Unai right?
I don't think this is a decision that has been made either by Unai or Mikel Arteta. I think this is a decision that is made above them, because I feel, of course, we don't know exactly why Ozil is being left out of the team, because it doesn't make any sense whatsoever to have a player of that quality, whatever problems that he may have, not to have him even in the squad, because I think the 25-man squad for the Premier League was released last night, I think, was it? And
Yes,
he
it
is not in it. The Europa League squad was released a couple of weeks ago. He's not in it. So he's basically not going to play anything until January at the very least. So, I mean, it doesn't make any sense at all, because we don't have the full picture. So there must have been something. I don't think it's anything to do with the squad. I don't think it's anything about his attitude or his performance in training. I don't think it's anything to do with that, because he was playing. He started and played all of Mikel Arteta's games before lockdown. So whatever. So I don't think Mikel Arteta doesn't rate him. And I think he was asked the question on his first interview as an Arsenal manager. He was asked about Ozil, and he said Ozil is a very important player for him. He needs to get the right structure around him so that he can be able to create for the team, because that's what he's one of the best, if not the best in the world in terms of chance creation. And we need to, have him in this position. So I don't think his opinion on Mesut Ozil, the player, has changed. I don't think so. I think it's about something that we do not know about, has happened.
Let me, at this juncture, let me now jump on this. Do you think it's purely financial that Ozil is not playing, that Arsenal might want to save maybe money by him not playing? Because we recently learned about his performance-related bonuses and his appearance bonuses as well.
Yeah, but if Ozil plays well, it's good for the team. So I don't understand. I think that's a reason maybe to keep us talking. I think it's something that the Arsenal side of this sort of have leaked that out, because those sort of numbers, those sort of figures, a journalist just doesn't have to pass by them in the tube in the morning when he's going to work. Oh, these are figures from Mr. Rose's contract. I'll put them in my latest. I think this is something that he has been given by somebody in this group, most likely from the Arsenal side, that he has performance-related bonuses and appearance bonuses and goal appearance bonuses and assist bonuses and so on and so forth. So I think I don't think that's it, because if Ozil plays well, if Ozil gives our 3 assists, scores 2 goals, will you be talking about how much you have to pay him or how important he is for the team? I think that's.
So you don't think it's purely financial?
I don't think that. I don't think so. It might be. It might be. But then Arsenal just spent £45 million on Thomas Partey, and they're paying him over £200,000 a week. So I don't think it's anything to do with the money. I think it's something that we do not know, that is very, very monumental, that Arsenal do not want to put him in the team. And I think it's even beyond Mikel Arteta. That's what I think. That's what I think.
Then if that's the case, then I don't know, because what I was thinking was we've recently also seen Arsenal having the redundancies that they made, some staff cuts, also having released Ganosaurus because of no fund revenue. So they're not really making enough right now. So I thought it could be, because when Ozil was left out, it was only after the pandemic had hit and we had come back. As you said, he started every game when the fans were there with Arteta, and then immediately after this pandemic hit and after lockdown, we come back and he's not there anymore. So
Yeah.
it might not be the only thing, but it might be one of the things.
Okay, it might be a thing, but then again, I remember when the redundancies were made, the statement that was released, they said, we are focusing now all our funds and all our, financial strength on bettering the team. So if you have Ozil performing in the team week in, week out, aren't you doing exactly that? So that line of thinking sort of reverts or is opposite to what they said, because if Ozil is performing week in, week out, I don't think anybody would have an issue if he got bonuses. If Ozil is giving two assists every game he has an assist or he has a goal, or he's involved in a goal or a chance, which right now is what we really, really need. I don't think a lot of people would really look into what he's being paid in bonuses. So I think I'm not saying that's not a reason. I think it is a reason. But is it enough of a reason to omit him from the squad list? I think that's the thing. I think you can have Ozil in the squad, maybe not play a lot of games. You can play a couple of games. If your issue is about how much you're going to pay him, maybe you play him in maybe some Europa League games, or you play him in some Carabao Cup games, but not to have him in any of the squad lists at all. I think it goes beyond that. I think there's something in behind all of this
definitely
that we do not know about. And I think I tweeted about this last night. I think the Arsenal fans deserve an explanation from all of this, and I hopefully Arteta will be pushed in. I don't know. I think he's having a presser today. I think obviously it will come up. I just want to see that the line of questioning, or the method or the manner on which the question will be asked about Ozil, because if they need to be asked in terms of a fan's point of view, I think the fans need to know what's going on, because basically they do not know what's going on. And I think that's why we're having this discussion. If a statement, or he came out, or Edu, or whoever came on and said, look, Ozil is not in the team because of A, B, C, D, then I think we could put it at rest, because I think he said in the Europa League squad, he said Ozil is out on tactical reasons, and I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that at all. You cannot have somebody of Mesut Ozil's quality out on tactical reasons.
Not want to play him.
I don't think so. I think it's something beyond that, and the club really needs to sort this out. I think it's not good for them in terms of PR, because right now I think the club is in a very positive mood. The fans are very happy with what Mikel Arteta is doing, and we're very excited about the prospect, what he could do in the future. And I think it's sort of like a dark cloud hanging on the side. I think we need to get rid of it, and get rid of it fast.
Yeah. So for the question, I don't think. So does time prove Unai right in not playing him, or do you think there's more to it? Maybe Unai was misusing him, and
as I said,
used him.
As I said, I don't think this decision was Unai's in the first place, and I don't think this decision is Mikel Arteta's. So I think this is a decision from the club. I think the club, from a while back, so this happened, and I think what we're having now, something must have happened before lockdown, because even before that, they still didn't want him in the team. They still wanted to sell him, but he was still playing. He was still playing. He was still involved in the team. But I think something must have happened to aggravate the situation. I think what we're seeing now is, I don't think it's one single thing. I think it's some things that have happened behind closed doors that have aggravated the situation into where it is right now. So I don't know. Maybe somebody will write a book about it, and then we'll have to know about it. So, because if Arsene Wenger can come out and say it's a waste, and we know Arsene Wenger's relation with the hierarchy right now at the club, I think it points towards something. I don't know. At this point, we're just speculating, but I think it's not really good for us.
Yeah, it definitely is not good for us. And as you said, the sooner it gets resolved, the better for everyone involved.
Okay.
Thank you. What's his name? Daniel Ndirangu, for your question.
All right. Another question on Twitter from Abdurrahman at A_Hussein15. He says, how do you feel about the other teams' results this weekend?
Good. Not all good, but some good. Chelsea drew. That's good for us. Spurs drew in very fantastic fashion. Man U won. I think I don't know how to feel about that. But they started off poorly, so I think we'll see them in the long term. I think we have to see about that.
We're facing them soon as well, I think, yeah?
Yeah, we are in our next 2 Premier League game weeks. So Leicester and then Man U. Who else played? That's our direct rival. Leicester? What happened with Leicester?
They lost, I think 3-0 or something.
They lost. Yeah.
Where they lost to Aston Villa 1-0. 3-0 was the last week. So.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, overall, I think it was a pretty decent weekend for us, given that we also dropped points, that the other teams who are our direct rivals also lost points. That's, I think, really good.
I completely agree. Keeps us in a good position. I think now we need to, that we're in the difficult bit of what we were talking about. I think we started with the Liverpool game, we lost that one. Then now the Man City, when we've lost that one as well. So it's not really going according to plan. So hopefully, I think...
No, but we have been playing them away, and our team is still kind of finding itself.
I think as well,
if
those
you
are
look
the
at things in context.
Yeah, those are the 2 most difficult places to go. So I think I'm very happy that we're done with those.
Yeah.
We're not going to Etihad, we're not going to Anfield.
Yeah.
Having said that, I think we're playing Man City again in the Carabao Cup. So fantastic. And then as well, I think we're going to Old Trafford, yeah?
Yes, we are going to Old Trafford.
Those are 3 big teams away from home, and that's good. I like the fixtures to be planned out is that we have...
Get them out of the way.
I like the away... the away games fast.
Yeah.
I'd prefer to play Anfield, Etihad, Old Trafford, Stamford Bridge, whatever, away from home, and then maybe towards the closing of the season we're home, we're at the Emirates. I think then we have a better chance. But when having said that, do you remember the last time that we played at Spurs Stadium first? It's been quite a while, because we always play at the Emirates first.
Yeah, it has. Yeah. Is that the same case this season?
I have no idea.
I'm not too sure. The game is still a ways off, so I'm not too sure.
That's also as well, I think, this season will be more important because I think maybe, hopefully, depending on how the situation is around the world, there could be a vaccine of the COVID-19. So maybe by the time those home fixtures come around, there could be fans in the stadium.
Fans.
So it's better to have fans in our stadium than to have fans in their stadium. So I was looking at it from that point of view.
Look at you being hopeful. Omar.
Yeah, it happens. So I think we're gonna lose against Leicester. So it so happens like that anyway. But I think it was a good. I mean, despite us losing, I think it was good that most of the teams around us also dropped points. That totally
Yeah,
helps.
yeah, definitely, 100%. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, no,
Looking at the table right now, we're not too bad off. I think, as we said, maybe just improve a bit on the goal side of things, and we should be okay. Uh, Otherwise, I think we're fine right now where we are.
yeah, I
We
think
just
we're
keep
good.
on looking forward.
We've had a decent start to the season. We've won games we
Seven
expected to
games,
win.
only two losses.
Yeah, we've won games that we expected to win. The ones we've lost, I think you'd have, if you told anybody we're going to lose them, nobody would have been surprised. So I think for me, as we said in the first part of the show, that the ones that we're supposed to win are the ones that the team so-called lesser sides. I think those are the ones we need to focus on. So far, we faced West Ham, we
Yeah,
faced Fulham, and we've won those games. So I think
yeah.
that's progress. I'm looking forward to Leicester as well. I think they're not in a good way. I think they beat Man City 5 something,
5-2, but
but they're not
again,
really
that
looking
one
good. They've
was
lost
a
their last two
fluke win.
games. They've lost their last two games, so they're not
Mm.
really looking in a good way. So having said that, I think they're gonna have a great performance at Emirates. Hopefully,
I do think that the Leicester win against Man City was just blown out of proportion because
yeah,
people
there were three
say
penalties
5-2,
in
but
the
they
game.
don't look at three penalties. So,
Yeah,
yeah, I think we do stand a chance to win against Leicester, and I'm looking forward to that. Back to winning ways. Let's talk about tomorrow.
tomorrow I'm looking at the fixtures because I have no idea who we're facing.
Um, is it Dynamo?
The Europa League. I can't believe we're in this competition again.
Rapid Vienna. We're playing Rapid Vienna
Rapid Vienna. Is it home away?
away.
Oh, so we're traveling. um, yeah. Look, I just want to see. I'd like to see Pate. I think he
Oh,
will play. I
really?
think.
This soon?
Hmm?
Uh, this soon? Would we just maybe wait to use him against Leicester?
No, I think this is a perfect game for him to come in because it's against a lesser opponent. We'll probably have more of the ball, so we'll have more time to actually get to know how we have. I mean, how we progress with the ball. I think it would be important for him. I think it's an easy game for him to come in. I think it makes sense. If I was the manager, I would put him in this game. Although I do understand your line of thinking that you want to even have him fit and ready for the Leicester game. I don't think he'll play the whole game. Maybe play it till up to the 70th minute or something like that. Then maybe somebody else will come on. The likes of Joe Willock and whoever playing in midfield, I think will get a chance as well. I think it's a game for Thomas Partey. It's a game for Runason. I think Runason will play as well. We'll start like to see the look of him because I've basically never seen him play. So
Saliba, maybe?
Saliba is not in the Europa League squad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Wait,
so
but isn't he under 21? So he can
he,
still feature.
I don't know. He wasn't put in the squad because he was thought he was going to go out on loan. That didn't work. I just have to say the way that this whole situation has been handled has been really poor on Arsenal side. I think they're not managing his career so far as well as would have thought they could have because everybody who has seen him knows the quality of player that he has. I saw him in a preseason friendly. I don't know who he played against. He was absolutely excellent. And then for that to turn around and say he's not ready and then not to include in the squad at all, I don't know. I think there's something else going on. Of course, there's personal issues which he's dealing with. But I don't know. The whole Saliba situation is sort of strange. But he's in the Premier League squad, the under 21, because he's an under 21, so he's been listed in that one.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's good. I don't know. He's not in. He's not going to play in the Europa League, so that's kind of unfortunate. That would have been perfect opportunity for him to play. I think if he was in the squad, he would have played. So then also bearing in mind we have injuries there, so I think we'll see David Luiz play. We played on Saturday, right? So maybe we'll see even Gabriel play. I think maybe Tierney will get a rest. We'll see Kolasinac. I think we'll see Partey. We will see Nelson.
Shaka.
Shaka. Nketiah. I think we'll see Nketiah as well. So it'll be a strongish team.
Maybe.
Yeah, we might see Pepe as well. I don't think we'll see Saka. I think Saka will be rested for this one. So it'll be interesting to see. I think we'll have a strongish team. I think a team good enough to win the game. That's for certain. And to see our Europa League campaign of flyer. The faster we can qualify, the better. And then we can see what happens after that. So, yeah. What are you expecting from the game?
I think a win would be good. Those young players, I think Nelson has had a bit of a raw deal. I think the times he's played he's been very good. I'd like to see more of him, maybe featuring in the Premier League squad. Maybe for Willian, but for now, I would like to see him in the Europa League. Maybe he can give Arteta a thinker, with a good performance. Looking forward to that. Yeah, I think that's it. There's not really much to say. I don't know much about our opponents. I think from where we are, from where we are also, I don't think we can't talk much about them.
I think no team news as of recording, so we can't really talk about who is fit and who's not. So that's that. So I don't know, was anybody? I mean, there's the Premier League did testing this week. I think 8 cases came out positive. It'd be interesting to see if there's any Arsenal player in there.
I doubt it. I think they would have announced. I think they would have announced.
Yeah, but they're having the press conference today and the team news today, so I think that's when it would be said.
Okay.
I don't know. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm not sure. I'm just speculating at this point. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to discuss before we close off this episode?
Not really. I think we've covered much of what needs to be said. I don't really have much else to say for now.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for the listeners to tuning in to this week's episode of the Kenyan Goodness podcast. Thank you to Ahmad for spending time with us to record this podcast. We will see you after the Leicester game on Sunday. That'll be probably on Monday or Tuesday next week. So cheers, guys. Kwaheri.